Okay. Yeah, we are live now. Okay, guys. Welcome. Welcome, Juan. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to talk with Juan today and share with you about Java, microservices, his books, and Canada, of course. Let me write here on the chat. I don't know if you will have someone here, but I will say hello at least. Okay, can you hear me well? Juan?
Yep. Yep.
It's okay. So, man, let's start with. I believe you can introduce yourself, and so everyone can know who you are, what you're doing, and uh, what. Yeah, I
Okay.
believe cool is to share about how is your history with Java too. So
Yeah. Well, I'm a Roan, and I've been working with Java since 2008, almost 20 years. I started to work in IBM with Java, you know, and yeah, I mean, the last 8 years, like since 2017, more or less, I started to work with microservices in Brazil, and when I moved to Canada in 2020, I kept it working with. With microservices, Java, and that's something that I became very specialist. And during the pandemic, I decided with a group of friends to to write a book that called it's in Portuguese, Microservices Journey. And yeah, we finished 2 years later. Almost 30 people that helped to produce this book, and I met good people over there. And right now, I'm working to finish a book that I started to write with a friend that sadly he passed away 2 months ago, and I think that it's like an honor to finish that. I'm gonna release that in May next year. Yeah, it's already
yeah,
May.
yeah. Sorry about that. I heard we talked before about him, and but it's a really big project to write. I believe because I never did. And what do you think to share about your first book about microservices and uh, why you think to start? What was your goal when you start
Yeah,
that journey?
yeah, that's funny what you're gonna say because normally when since I was like 13, I got involved in some non-profit organizations and do a lot of volunteer works. And so during the pandemic, you know, I was not able to do this kind of volunteer work. I was like, I need to do that. It's part of my life, you know. And what
Yeah,
happens that I was thinking some way to help people who doesn't speak English because we have a lot of people in Brazil that to pay the university and IT. Most of the books are in English, and sometimes they guys they struggle to read something in English because like it's not like that. You know, I came from that. You know, I just learned English when I was 21 years old, and
yeah,
so I had opportunity to learn, but I never had money to study. And so I think, okay, I need to help somebody with the subject because there are a lot of contents in English and we don't have too much in Portuguese, and sometimes the translation are not good, you know. So based on that, I found a project they call Jornada that some guys, some friends, they started to write a book like Jornada DevOps and Jornada Java that I participate writing the Jornada Java one chapter over there. I wrote
mhm,
one
cool.
chapter over there in the Java book,
So
And
your first book was the Jornada job.
yeah, but I didn't. I wrote just one chapter, APIs. You know,
Yeah.
and when I realized, oh, we don't have this Portuguese, so I think that we could do. And I talked to some friends. I say, okay, let's do it. And all the money we're going to donate to charity institution in Rio de Janeiro. You know, and so we don't keep the money. Like the money, we just give
Hmm.
to the a charity institution. It's a kind of the Jornada project. Uh,
Yeah.
it's a goal of another project here. You know, we just pay the cost and all the all the net profit we send to. We don't take anything. The only thing that I got was 10 copies of the book, nothing else. And
Cool.
after that, I talked I talked to this friend Norberto, who works for 3 years in AWS, and say, hey man, we could like keep something that we started over there with microservices, but more related to architecture. We could like maybe to start something like with microservices. I think that's could be good. And so we started to write and define all the chapters. And I think that's 28 chap- chapters that I have over there in microservice architecture. And so the idea is write in 4 languages like French, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. But the first one that we're going to release is going to be Portuguese, and after I'm gonna to try to translate the book. You know,
Oh,
that's
nice. And for that first edition, do you have physical copies or only digital?
I will do, but to because like I'm doing by Amazon, you know, and the Amazon you need at least 78 pages to upload to do this copy. But I don't want to send right now because I need to read because like again he dies in the middle of the project and I need to right now I'm doing my work and his work, and so I need to revise and change before
Yeah.
to submit. I already put the pre-order in for the Kindle version, but the plan is also to have the hardcover and the normal regular one, physical one. But
Oh, cool.
I didn't put to the pre-order because I need to release something that I don't want to right now. I need just to I have something to adjust before.
Yeah. So you have to review it, all the book and check
Actually, I need to
through.
finish first and after to review
Okay.
because it's not finished yet.
Okay. And then, are you doing something like um, get getting help for other peoples to review, or
No,
just
no, no. For now, no. It's something that we kept between me and him. It was
okay.
I was doing that, validating, and all the comments he just pushed. And right now, I'm going to finish that.
Okay, nice. And I saw the chapters of your book, and I I wondering what was the mostly challenge for you to write, or for where you see the more problems in the markets, you know.
Actually,
What else? What part of microservices is?
okay. About the rights is not that complicated, you know, because like if you know the subject and you just study and work every day, the problem is sync with 30 different people in different time zones in different um, lives because everybody is living something they want to do, but it's like a volunteer work and validate and review everything. And sometimes people that's just copy and paste from some place and translate, you know,
Hmm.
we like sometimes you got this thing and we need to be careful because it's our names over there. And so
Yeah, right.
like and to organize the ideas and to define some topics to not also to like define some scope as well, you know, because microservices like we have like subject to write like like 5, 10, 5 or 10 books differently. You know,
Yeah,
if you go so deep, like DDD, one thing that you just like put something in DDD, but we didn't go deep because like it's not that goal, but like something that we need right now in the architecture, we'll work a little bit more, but like need to be careful to not go so deep like the DDD books. You need to
yeah,
try to not go so deep because like there's some books specific for that, but like we need right now here basically that you know something about DDD, like in the architecture how you apply that to define some domains, subdomains, and then how you build your project in terms of a microservice and how you going
mm,
to define everything like aggregate and everything over there. That's something like that more hands-on and more directed to the point, like straightforward to the point, direct to the point.
yeah, yeah. That is good because sometimes companies like to say that they are working with microservices in Brazil. I can see that, but usually we always missing some points. For example, the the database thing where we using microservices. The good is to have a separate database for each one. I remember some projects I worked in the past that we had all the components. They are communicate using events, but in the end they are using one database with no split schema or so. Uh, do what what do you see today for enterprise projects like thinking about banks? Uh, uh, do you see a problem for microservices using the same database or the same database but different schemas?
Actually, the concept of microservices is like it should have like technically different database with cloud. This kind of thing, is very different. You can have some instance over there, and I don't suggest to have the same schemas, a shared schemas in the same database. Because this is not the purpose of microservices. Like they need to be independently, but most of the companies they do that. They create the same with the same database, the same instance, and many different schemas. But that's not the concept of microservices. Because microservices is like something that needs to be done uh, more because of small teams and squads,
Yeah,
because it's easy and can easily do CI/CD and everything over there. You can do that. And based on that, I never seen in my life, except one exception that I'm gonna tell you. That's funny, but just one time, a company that use microservices, everything,
by
maybe.
the book.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know that exists, but I just saw one guy in Brazil. He was working in a company that I think Bruno Souza work over there. That's Suma, you know. And this guy, I talked to him, and he was working a project for a bank, and he was doing exactly the state of art of a microservice in this project in Suma. I talked to him. I really enjoy. He was very very smart. This guy, I really like him. Let me see if I have his name over here because this was the best guy that I talked in my life. He's not. I really like that.
Really doing microservices.
Yeah, yeah, really doing microservice.
Do you
Suma.
remember the project? What he was doing? No.
No, exactly. It's like Einar. His name is Einar Saukas. He's really nice guy. He's really impressive, very very smart guy. And I
Yeah,
had that conversation with him.
nice. That is a hard part. I never saw. At least I never saw a company that was able to split the database because um, always working for enterprise projects or uh, big banks or like um, e-commerces, they never start thinking about microservices. And then when they decide to do microservices, they already have a, a huge database created with a lot of data, and so they think about split teams, do microservices, but the database is still the same. It's a should be a really challenge for those companies, right?
Yeah, like there are two sides of the coin actually, because like most of the companies they started to do the software um, as microservices, a new software. That's something that also it's hard to define in the beginning because you don't have all the requirements to split that.
Yeah,
And there are some companies they have a monolith and they need to break down and the part like they need change and introduce more features frequently, and they start to break down the monolith by this part, like they identify the domain, like okay, we need to release this every week, and they start to break down this part and start by this. I see that this path, this way, is the best way to do it instead to start, because also after that, if you start just like without some knowledge, so, like it's very hard to maintain, it's hard to find some issues, because in terms of observability, everything needs to be very very good, because this is going to request you more uh observability part, because the transaction is spreaded, like example, just to give example, e-commerce for example, you have some orders, some ship, the payments normally they are different domains and like different microservices, so you need to make sure that the guy is going to pay something with e-commerce and going to be shipped in time and arrive in time, but also you need to make sure that your stock it's correctly, and something like that.
yeah, great. So I'm sharing the link of your book at Amazon here. So if someone wants to buy it to help one, feel free.
That
And
is the new, yeah. That is the new they're going to release in May.
is that the link?
Yeah, I think so.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is.
Yeah, I got from the Discord group. Okay, and let me ask you, what was your mainly reference for this book? Like books, guys you are following, or projects? Do you have an uh, kind of main reference for that, or
Actually,
is more for your own experience in your
it's a set of
personal?
things. I think normally there are some books like some good authors like Son Newman. It's a reference in our another great book is Microservices Partners, that you have great partners like it's important, like Saga Partner, for example, even CQRS. Yeah, we have a bunch of things in this Microservices Partners book that's very interesting. And also some great experience that me and Norbert had in our career, that we try to bring like the the domain-driven design as well, the theory and the
Yeah,
practical input all together, because everything needs to be connected. If just
yeah,
theory is complicated.
yeah. Usually, only theory is too hard to how do I say that? Uh, it's better when you have the both theory and practice, right? It's like to teach the theory without practice is really hard. And um, do you have one thing in this book that you uh, already didn't have the chance to work in professional projects, like for large scale projects in your own career?
Most of the things I've been working, um, like separate, not everything together. The exception is integration with IoT. That was
Oh yeah.
more subject from Roberto, you know,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, that is
some
pretty
yeah,
specific, right?
yeah, and some part of this machine learning system that is still like it's a baby, like I'm doing some studies right now with cloud code agents. I'm doing some studies with MCP for cloud code as well, and try to think how can I put together everything. Even in my master, I'm doing my master right now, and my dissertation is regarding architecture as code. It's something very fresh and very new. I'm working the subject in my master. That the first
Oh,
paper was published about this architecture as code this year. It's very fresh subject because we have already infrastructure as a code and we
yeah.
have architecture as a code. Basically, it's like a reflection because like if you think most of the companies they do in the beginning the architecture draw design and everything, but with since we have like a lot of sprints and everything in agile ceremonies, sometimes in some companies there are two kind of problems. One is that this architecture that's designed sometimes does not reflect the code, and that's true. And sometimes also
Yeah.
the architecture design does not follow the code because normally there are a lot of like developers doing a lot of things that some companies they don't have time to update this. And this kind of problem that architecture code come to try to help and keep everything updated, and it's something that I'm doing right now at Tool to try to reproduce my theory, and let's see. you know
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. That is the
yeah,
first time I heard about.
yeah, it's new.
And uh, architecture usually, looking for my experience, is usually is a very separate team from the operation, from the engineering, right? So uh, if you don't uh, ask for update the architecture documentation, usually stay a lot behind from the code.
Yeah, yeah, but there are two sides of coins, too many problems with that, and they are a large field right now because they publish the paper they call architecture as code this year, so it's very new and a lot of problems to solve in this field. And I'm starting to work in one right now.
Yeah, nice, very cool. Uh, did did you mention we can back in your master after, but did you mention you are testing and using some code assistants like clouds? and others MCP. And can you share a little bit about how you're using today, what you're what you think is cool, what is bad for
Actually, I, yeah, actually, what I did, actually, I took something that I'm not good with, like front end, to study this. I'm trying to
you?
develop a front end project, that just using this, like um, uh, generative AI, LLMs, and um, using basically some agents. MCP is a protocol, for example. The MCP is a protocol that was invented by Anthropic. Anthropic is the responsible about the cloud AI,
Yeah,
and one of my favorite one is from the LLM from Anthropic. I like a lot, and I'm doing something, with Cloud Code. Um, and yeah, I'm testing. I'm doing some agents because you can create some different agents. You can The MCP is a protocol that you can connect to a server to do a specific task. For
yeah,
example, I create an agent that's specialist in QA, for example, and they use MCP with a playwright to test and everything functionally, and the MCP is a protocol to connect to those servers, and the agents interact with these tools through the MCP. You know, it's a protocol, and there's a lot of things that I'm figuring out right now in studying. And about AI, deep learning, and everything. But it's so fresh in my mind because it's a lot of things that it's on the flight.
yeah, yeah. That is nice. I also starting a little bit with that in my, but only for my personal projects. I decide to start with Cursor AI and doing the same thing you did for something I'm not good at. So I start writing a blog site and using Cursor. And yeah, I like it. He's working very fast, and I can ask for specific things and working works very well. And now I'm trying to test the cloud code. Also doing some things with front end, and but yeah, it's uh, it's a very good thing to get performance. Unfortunately, for in my daily work, I I do not use code assisting, but I'm using, and we start think how to create agents on Microsoft Copilot. That, yeah, let's see how it will be. I don't know if it's good as cloud code or not, but
Yeah, my Copilot, I didn't go deep. I use, but I didn't go deep. I just use when I my cloud code just the
finish
tokens
the
that get
tokens.
the finish the tokens. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something very interesting.
yeah. I'm doing things with the Copilot, but very dumb way to convert some things to do like hard work for me. But for now, I do not have how to connect and use as a code assistant, so it's not as good as could be. Okay, so man, let's talk about uh, a little bit from the past. Um, you share you was working in Brazil, and after that you moved to Canada. And could you share a little bit about this that change, how it was, why did you decide to came to Canada, and um, why you like here?
Actually, I did some exploration 2016, you know, and my dream was come to live here. And I have some my best friend actually. He came to Quebec and he pushed me to start to come as well. And I studied French in the same school that he studied before to come here. And we are friends like for since 2002. Yeah, 23 years right now.
Oh,
And I was planning to come here, and I did some English studies, and okay, I did some IELTS tests to the
yeah.
experience. And say, oh, I'll go to learn French and come to Quebec. I say, okay, I'm gonna do that. And in my first month, when I was studying French, there was a mission to recruit mission, recruitment mission that they were interviewing people, and I did everything in English. But the client, because like it was a consulting company when they hired me, um, they say, yeah, for now, you need to wait for your visa process, and like that's gonna take like 8 months more or less. You need to learn at least French intermediate in 8 months,
Yeah.
and I run, I speed up, and yeah, it was good when I arrived. At least functional French. Right now, my master is in French.
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah, my master is in French over here, and yeah,
So are
I
you
finished
doing? Oh, sorry, are you doing your master uh, in in Montreal?
in Montreal. Yeah,
Cool,
ETS École
cool.
Technologie Supérieure. It's like a polytechnica in Brazil.
Cool.
Uh, and yeah, I already finished the disciplines. Just need to finish my dissertation, and I'm late with that. Yeah, yeah, and that's how I arrived over here because, like, I would like to come, but never thought. Actually, in before that, I tried to learn French, but I like 2009 because I would like to come here, but I faced it very like I thought that was very hard, but
Oh, really?
actually,
So
yeah,
yeah, do
in
you?
2009
In
I studied for one
2009.
month. Yeah, 1 month French in Salvador. I used to live over there. Not 2009, sorry, 2007. 2009 I was in São Paulo. 2007, and I studied for a couple like a 1 month or 2 months, but I say okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go because like French it's like very hard. But again,
At this
after
time, did you already talk in English? 2007.
that, not
Yeah.
that good, but it was like learning. Like because
Yeah.
2008, 2007, I was like 22 years old. Like I started to learn English in 21. Yeah, when we became 21. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I heard that after when you already um, learned another language, it's easier to go to the third one.
Mhm.
Like, you know, English and Portuguese is your native language, so you have to learn French. Could be easier than if you start uh, from French. Um, yeah, I like French already. I already know how to ask for a coffee or a tea or a croissant. I starting to, and it's pretty cool. It's very similar to Portuguese, actually.
Yeah, actually, I
I
can.
heard some phrase and I could
It
understand,
depends.
but I
Depends.
couldn't reproduce because the sound is different.
Yeah, the worst thing,
Depends.
the worst thing that I can tell you that the Quebecois, it's they have a strong accent. If you like your you, like it's different from
Oh,
France. Like for me, it was easy to understand for sure. Like the French from guys from France after Quebecois because like they have more like a nose sound, nasal sound. Let's say
yeah,
but yeah, right now it's like even my son when he speaks in French, it's like Quebecois. But it's part of our routine, like three language. But one thing that was very hard for me in the beginning, that when I arrived over here, I s- I was speaking like three languages per day: the Portuguese at home, and English and French. Like after like around 2 p.m., I was like, I went to sleep. My brain stopped working, like something like that. Like because
yeah.
I was
I can
struggling
believe. I
because
can
your
believe.
brain like became like my brain became very tired because like it's a new thing you need to think in your job, but at the same time you spend most of the times like speaking French and English sometimes, in writing and man, it's like terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Our bodies is feel tired to learn a lot of things in the same time. I remember when I arrived in Canada and I started to work with a different uh, tools and technology that I used to do. I started to work with Java Desktop using JavaFX and Reactor. Yeah, it was the first time I really work with reactive Java.
Mhm.
So I had to basically learn two language in the same time, the reactive Java and English every day, talking. And yeah, because the hard part for me it's the small talks when you go to the supermarket or you start a meeting and you had to do the small talks
Mhm.
because English for work is easy for us because everything is writing and sharing in English, right? Cool. And so let's talk a little bit the future and your masters. You are almost finishing your master, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm starting my dissertation project right now because like, I was working a lot and I didn't have time to dedicate myself and define the scope as well that I like it. Like I spent like almost 1 year without touching my project,
Yeah,
and right now after reflection and I decided to choose something and I started last week uh, to get something, you know, because yeah, I had some burnout and I say, okay, now I need to dedicate myself for like to do something that I really like, That's for me
yeah,
like I returned to play guitar after 4 years or 3 years that I didn't touch my guitar. And yeah, I built a band. Yeah, that's something that is good for relaxing as well. No, it's not just I love the
yeah,
IT actually, so but we need also like get out from computers sometimes.
yeah. I agree with you. Sometimes our head is exploding. You have to think about another thing than work, right?
Yeah.
And your did you plan to write some books about this subject that you're studying in the masters?
I don't know yet, but probably because there's nothing about that, it's everything new in the academy, in the academy.
Yeah,
Like, And yeah, maybe yes. I don't know. Depends
Nice.
how that's going to to be. Because
Yeah.
I one of the reasons that I took so long to define a subject because I need to feel that something that's gonna be good and then I going to be motivated because like I have what I call ADHD, you know. That's a ADHD. It's kind of a condition that if the person that has this condition he doesn't feel motivated with something, he will procrastinate, you know.
Mm,
And if
yeah.
something that you are very excited, you create a hyper focus. And right now,
I got it.
I created hyper focus on that, and like I spend until midnight doing my project because again I'm licensed for my work because this is a burnout that I had and a little bit of depression. Like I can tell you, nothing is always good. You know, people normally in the social media they don't. Everybody's happy, everybody has money, but like the real
Yeah.
life is not like that. You know, people need to know the that people can have problems and people have problems, even that they are in different countries or if they are in good positions. You know, I had some good friends working great companies like Fang. They have problems with depressions, burnout, like because like
Yeah.
this is for real, and this is something that you need to bring to
Yeah.
the real life
To
because
real
sometimes
life.
yeah because the
The
social
real life.
network sometimes this guy is working over there but like okay but it's not like that, you know.
Yeah. How his life is so perfect, right?
Yeah, but it's not. Looks
Yeah.
sometimes because it's like in the social media just actually post things in the good moments when you're in the right in the wrong moments and the bad moments, you know. And even when you are in the bad moments, in the small parts that you are good moments, you post, but nothing that you see in the social media reflects the real life, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I got it. Uh, and could you share again that you are writing right now another book or another books, right? Is one
Yeah.
more or two more?
Actually, there are two. One I put in pause, you know. Actually, it's two more. One I define the
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 scope?
the scope of the book, and another one is the same thing that I was writing with my friend. You know, I
Yeah.
was writing with this friend two books. You know, one about Apache Kafka that I invited Otavio in this case because this one need more help, and I invited Otavio Santana to help me with that. I need to ask him. He was busy those days, and if he was able to read and do a revision. And another one that it's almost there, and so is more something easy. And one other one that I'm doing alone for now, and I invited some friends that's related to AI as well. You know, I have the
Nice.
scope over here. I defined the scope because I invited a professor from my university and some friends. But actually this like it's a scope before to filter because you put everything that you want and after you're going to filter to give more to or that's going to become a lot many books or that's going to become one book
Yeah.
but more with the filter things, you know, because you need to like yeah like because I have like actually I have one the topic that I have might be nine different books right now.
Oh,
Yeah, in AI, but I already defined the first one. That's going to be software engineer and AI, an introduction of a software engineer to the AI system. Yeah,
cool.
that's more like more introduction stuff and relate. You make that a kind of relation, because like if you see the AI is not something that when you're going to develop is not something like the traditional software engineering. We have
Hmm.
more some particularities, for example, in the software engineering to develop AI, the tests, and even the machine learning ops. We don't have DevOps, kind of different. So there's something that's very different. Like very, it's not very different. Sorry, it's like it's like there is a small difference, about that, but that
Yeah,
need to, like, I never seen somebody talks about that as an introduction to connect the dots. That's for me is really important. I saw this in my master because I had a discipline over there with software engineering and AI, and I learned about some kind of AIs and how you go into deep, since you came from AI, machine learning, deep
yeah,
learning, reinforcement learning, and a lot of things until you arrive in the transformers and the types of RNN architectures and a lot of things that we need to have. But we need to start. And so I define, okay, for me it's like a puzzle. We need to organize, and I just understand, if I understand like the puzzle and organize my ideas until to arrive, for example, in the deep learning, because
yeah,
because a lot of different subjects.
yeah. It's a process. I can
Yeah,
imagine. And this thing about software engineering and AI, it's now uh, we are just hearing a lot about it, but we have to define a process and create this culture on the companies to be able to use and get good things from that, like how to share everything with uh, some AI with security and start using MCPs. That is, yeah, it's a lot work to do.
yeah, and this is going to be like introduction, just like to explain, because like I'll like to explain the AI in software engineering, the process, and some names and algorithms without the implementation. It's more theoretical, it's more theory over there. And after, we're going to go deep, because I break down after this introduction and some neural network, deep learning, and machine learning, and LLM, and yeah, that's something like that.
Cool. So I believe you have a lot of work to do for the next years, right?
Yeah, yeah. But this is not going to be now. Just put over there, because this also is going to be a course they're going to release in Udemy mobile. Not right now, because I need to finish my priorities first. I have a bunch of things, but when I have some idea, just put over there and try to write and say, okay,
Yeah,
this is going to keep you over here.
yeah, like a second
Yeah,
brain, second.
yeah,
Nice. Okay, man. I believe we are good for today. We talk about everything I planned, and it was really nice. Um, so now I'd like to thank you. And
thank you so much for that. And I know that's it was hard those days, because I'm going to receive some visits this week, and it's my birthday next week, and there are some. I have an uncle coming from Brazil. It's crazy right now.
yeah, usually our agenda as professionals and father
Yeah,
is usually huge,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Thanks so much.
and thank you for everyone who are listening. I can see Luis is online, our
Yeah,
our guest.
yeah. And
So
if you speak Portuguese, you already can do a pre-order in the book, If you don't, just wait that they're going to choose AI to help me to translate this, but I need to review because I need to write first my book, and I'm going to review, and to translate, I'm gonna ask for some help, you know. But I need to
Yeah,
validate as well because sometimes the translation can be very bad, you know. Like sometimes I saw like, oh, people translate from English strings to cordas, like it's very weird, you know. You need to take care about that, man. You need to, everything that you do need to be reviewed.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So if the people want to reach out to you, where is
Yeah,
the best place?
actually, in the LinkedIn, I do more my. It's where I do more my professional and social media things. So it's where I have more than 10,000 people over there, and there's sometimes that I can take time to answer because, but in the LinkedIn is you know not that complicated.
Okay, great. So that's it. Um, you can stay a little bit more. I will end here and thank you again, everyone. Have a great night and see you next week.
Great night and bye bye.
Bye bye.